Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America, 865-255-03. 3 minutes past the top of the hour. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the Swain Event. Taking you from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. Download the free Swain Event app. Tell your friend to download the free Swain Event app. Tell everybody to download the free Swain Event app where you can listen live anywhere. You can go back and check out any part of the show that you have missed. You can text the show using the free text box. Questions, comments, any part of the show, you can send that in. We see it. We read it. Man, it's one of our best features here on the program. Ben, good morning, sir, man.
Good morning. Happy Pitt week.
Let's go.
Which feels weird because I am wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers sweatshirt.
It's all good.
As I say that, but it is game week for my Steelers, just like it is game week for your Chicago Bears and many folks listening, their Tennessee Titans. So it'll be a fun week. 5 days, 4 hours, 55 minutes, and 3 seconds away from Pittsburgh and Tennessee squaring off, according to Pitt's website. So I'm actually excited to preview an actual football game this week.
That's right, man. That's right. It's kind of hard to watch Pitt play against UMass because UMass is just about as good as Bowling Green. But Pitt took care of business. Pitt did with UMass what we as Tennessee fans wanted Tennessee to do to Bowling Green. It didn't happen that way, but you did win by 32 points. And watching college football over the weekend, Ben, I hope folks are grateful for that 32-point win that was never in doubt. You look over at some of the games this weekend, Ben, and woo, what a first week of college football. Upsets, some close calls by top 5, top 10, top 15 teams out here. And, man, last night we got a thriller. Notre Dame, Florida State. Man, I know we don't do moral victories, but Florida State is moving in the right direction. Mike Norvell has his guys playing a whole lot better than they have been. So they came close to beating Notre Dame, the top 10 team, but you know how it is, man. Them kickers, they got one job. Kickers. One job. That is it. But our kicker is 1-for-1 here at Tennessee, who I got a chance to meet last night.
You got to meet Tennessee's kicker last night, huh?
Yeah, that's my boy now. We
Chase McGrath.
Yeah, we tight now.
He had a better debut in orange than Brent Smaglia did in blue and what's that type of gold? I mean, I know it's gold.
Gold and navy, I think.
Is it like
with the yellow jackets?
Specific type of
I don't know.
gold?
It's just gold and blue and gold.
Brent Smaglia, not a great debut there in Georgia Tech.
He missed
in Atlanta. He missed 2, and they lost by 1 to a team that they should not have lost to. I can't remember off the top of my head, but not a great debut for Brent Smaglia there at Georgia Tech, who lost to Northern Illinois, 22-21.
I'm not gonna be petty.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be petty like y'all out here. Some of y'all are just way over the top petty.
We'll keep it moving. But that was my biggest takeaway this weekend. I was locked into the television, multiple screens all weekend long, or I guess all Saturday, and then last night there was just one football game. I did not watch the 7-6 Jackson State over FAMU win, in which Terrell Owens was on the sideline with Dion. I did not watch that football game, but I missed that. Florida State.
I missed that one. I did watch the classic between Tennessee State and Grambling. I did see that.
Who won?
Grambling. I tuned in to watch the bands.
I want Eddie George to do well. I like Eddie George a lot.
Yeah, it was a good game. They came up a little bit short. Lots of Tennessee flavor in that game because Charles Davis was on the call. They interviewed Mickey Allen, former Tennessee DB, and they kept trying to talk about Tennessee, with Mickey being, the great AD that he's going to be at Tennessee State. Just try to keep the focus on the school that he's at right now, but also respecting, his school, man, which is Tennessee, the school that he played at, and received a degree from. But, man, he is now the AD at Tennessee State, building that program and making sure that every chance he gets, he brands the Tennessee State football program. So great scene there, great stage, but they came up a little bit short. But the staffs on both sides, there, Tennessee State and Grambling, you see the staff start to look like an NFL staff. Some of those NFL coaches that have been in the league for a very long time. Hugh Jackson's offense coordinator at Tennessee State. So just really cool to see HBCUs getting the attention and getting more of the resources that you see at typical schools with the exposure. But, man.
How did your Alabama A&M Bulldogs do?
They ain't my team no more. I told you, Tennessee State. We already did that. We already adopted Tennessee State as our team because of Mickey Allen.
You are correct. But I wanted to kind of go back to your point that you said off the top about just being thankful if you are a Tennessee fan for the lack of drama that Tennessee had on Thursday night. I know that it was 14-6 at halftime, but it never felt like Tennessee was going to lose the football game.
No.
Is my point. And that seemed to be the theme week one of college football is upsets and potential upsets. I mean, just in the SEC, Texas A&M struggled with Kent State for about a half and a quarter. Half a quarter.
Yep.
It was not the debut for Haynes King that many expected, throwing 3 interceptions.
It was 10-3 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So that was making A&M fans nervous, and I was not impressed by Florida whatsoever. Anthony Richardson, AR-15 is his nickname, which is a pretty dope nickname. But he came in after Emory Jones there late in the game, and it looked like the better quarterback to me. But Florida was not impressive whatsoever. LSU and Coach O's sissy comment that backfired.
Oh, that's coming up later.
Oh, it is. Arkansas struggled with Rice, even though they went on to win 38-17. I think that was a close game going into the fourth quarter. I had that one on a side TV for a hot minute. I don't know how Louisiana Tech blew the game to Mississippi State. They were up by like 17 points, and State came back in the fourth quarter and won. Missouri did not look all that great against Central Michigan. And then, obviously, the fighting Randy Sanders and the ETSU Bucks.
Hey.
Knock off Vandy.
I got a new segment. I'll let you answer the phone because I kind of have to have your attention to tell you about the new segment. Since you're part of the show, you're 50% of the show, man. It's important that I tell you that this new segment.
I'm interested.
This new segment for today, and we'll see how we can do it in the future. But where's your drink? You got your drink for today?
I don't have a drink.
All right, and this is dangerous now because we got a lot of electronics up in here. But new segment where I tell you a story, something that happened in college football. You take a drink of anything, and you have to keep a straight face. The segment's called Straight Face. You have to keep a straight face. You have to hold your liquids. And I was thinking about this as I was trying to hold in my laugh, realizing that not only did Vanderbilt lose to ETSU, but they got the brakes beat off of them by ETSU. The muffler, the spark plugs, the steering wheel fluid. Just what are you doing, Vanderbilt? What are you doing? The coach out here had the players without their names on the jersey.
Oops.
What are you doing? You thought that was going to work? You thought that was going to motivate the guys more? They lost to ETSU and got drugged in front of a stadium attendance that Maryville Maryville High School.
No. ETSU would have had a packed. That game should have been played in Johnson City. People in Johnson City care more about football than people over on West End.
Man, I had a couple straight-face moments, man.
But to your point, I mean, Maryville High School, Maryville College was packed more than Vanderbilt Stadium.
I had a couple straight-face moments. I was trying to keep a straight face. The video I saw, the UCLA recruiting page that put the clip of Ed Orgeron walking to the stadium, getting heckled by UCLA fans, and he called the dude's shirt a sissy shirt. Come on, we gonna
bring that sissy blue shirt in here.
Yeah, sissy blue shirt. And UCLA never had a doubt. I mean, UCLA had control of the entire game.
Dominated in the trenches. Which, to go back to the Vandy game real quick, pretty sad that ETSU dominated Vanderbilt in the trenches, and not trying to take anything away from ETSU. What they did was tremendous. But the point is, an SEC school should never, I don't even care if it's Vanderbilt, should never be dominated in the trenches against an FCS team. This
is the wrong time to be looking like this if you're Vanderbilt. You got teams coming into the league. This is when you're supposed to put your best foot forward.
Yeah, and I was disappointed in some of you listeners. I saw y'all's tweets this weekend. I enjoyed the ones making fun of Vanderbilt, but I was disappointed in those of you who were saying that Tennessee needs to try and trade, or the SEC needs to try and trade Vanderbilt out of the league. No, Tennessee needs Vanderbilt in the league. So I was disappointed in some of y'all saying that SEC, instead of expansion, needs to try and make some trades. No. Tennessee needs Vanderbilt to stay right where they are.
They're a rival. They're a rivalry game, right?
Right.
Yeah, you can't mess up the rivalry games. Yeah, man. But UCLA had the league the entire game. 14 points in the second, went up 14-10 at halftime. It was 24-20 third quarter. The UCLA put it away with 14 points in the fourth, and only 7 for LSU, winning 38-27. And Coach Orgeron is on his way to being Gene Chizik.
Or he already is Gene Chizik.
He's on his way.
Another game in which the offensive line, the trenches, determined a football game. UCLA and that offensive line. Woo! I didn't think it was possible for an O-line in the Pac-12 to dominate somebody like that. And they dominated LSU. I mean, that was the theme, and kind of, in my opinion, the two biggest games on Saturday was LSU, UCLA, and then Clemson, Georgia. And what both teams that lost, they lost because of poor offensive line play. And, I mean, we just talked about it with ETSU and Vandy as well. Offensive line play got Vandy beat. Vandy also couldn't stop the run. So if you want to take a positive away from Tennessee's performance when watching these other teams, I know it was Bowling Green, but that was the one thing that Tennessee did check off, in my opinion, is that they pushed around Bowling Green in the trenches the way that they should have. They ran the ball the way that they should have. They stopped the run the way that they should have. We can talk about Joe Milton and the passing game as a whole, but that should give fans hope for these upcoming 50-50 games that Tennessee's going to play in, is that they did push around Bowling Green the way that they were supposed to, and you see some of these other teams lose because they weren't pushing the other team around.
I'm going to get to the phones, but I got to mention one last disappointment.
Miami.
I knew that was going to happen, though. I had my guts. I had brought my own guts. I had my rock. I was rubbing my rock.
Interesting.
Just rubbing the heck out of it, man. Just rubbing it. Did nothing. Just rubbing it for nothing. Just over here rubbing my rock for no reason. I had my guts ready. Had my guts on the side. I was all in. For what? Quarterback on Dr. Pepper commercials. Can't even score a damn touchdown. had me ready for a Clemson win. This was the only time outside of Clemson playing Alabama in that championship game that I was rooting for Clemson, and you let me down. You let me down, Clemson. The Georgia defense is real, though. You let me down, Clemson. You let me down. That Georgia defense.
And I wasn't very impressed by DJ Uiagalelei.
What? What'd you say?
I mean, he kind of reminds me of Joe Milton, honestly. All the physical tools in the world, and you see why.
Easy.
There's so much potential, but game starts going, and
he didn't want to run, man. He had plenty of opportunities to run. He didn't want to run. But that Georgia defense is real. Anyways, you let me down, Clemson. All that talent there, couldn't even put up a touchdown. Let's get to the phones. Speaking of Clemson. Knox and Mike, good morning.
What is going on, guys?
What's up, man? Where you been?
Man, well, if you would pick up, if you'd ever read your DMs, you'd know. But I see how it is, though.
Hey, man.
I know.
Hey, man.
Don't feel bad. It's not just you. He doesn't read texts. He doesn't read DMs. He doesn't read Facebook messages. It's not just you. Don't feel bad.
Don't worry.
I'll read them.
I feel. No, you don't. No. Facebook shows you when you see them.
Well, now, so Mike, the place where you try to reach out and talk to me is like the place I'm rarely at, and that's on Facebook.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, listen. Quickly, a couple quick things. As far as the Tennessee game goes, look, I mean, you probably seen my tweets. Look, man, hey, last year we scored over 30. I think it was 32 points or 35 points or one time, and that was against Vanderbilt. I'm not going to complain, man. I came in. I came in with just like, okay, we'll see what happens. Whatever. It was Bowling Green, but we still won.
That's right. About 32. Never was in doubt.
Right. We were still won. But hey, if you don't mind, right quick though, you know me. You know I'm a Clemson fan, and let me throw this right here. Let me throw this out to you. Let me brag on you for just a minute.
Okay.
Do you remember? And I remember. Do you remember how many times in the past you have said, and it's about Tennessee, you have said you got too many receivers that do the same thing. Mm-hmm. All Clemson's receivers are 16,000 foot tall, but they got no speed except for Justin Ross. They couldn't do anything. The offensive line is still giving up sacks at 7 o'clock this morning. Yes, Georgia may have, they ain't going to beat Alabama, but by God, they do got a good defense. But when you got an offensive line like that Clemson does, you ain't even going to win your conference.
No. I mean, thanks for the phone call, Nasser Mike, man, because we got to take a break here. But let me help Nasser Mike because it's been a while since he called in. He's a little excited. He did not mention that he is a Tennessee fan as well. He is from South Carolina, so he kind of grew up, right there by Clemson. So he saw a lot of Clemson. So Clemson's is his other team, but he is a Tennessee fan. He forgot that part. People might be confused. Why is he calling in if you're a Clemson fan? He's a Tennessee fan and a Clemson fan. So people, so you know that. Now, so Mike's chili is hot. Hot chili. Speaking of chili, you think Michael Eckler is okay? He said he was okay.
Did he?
He said, yeah,
I was trying to interpret y'all's back and forth. I was struggling.
I think he's okay. Just from the response, I think he's good. I think he's all right.
Possibly.
He might have a concussion.
Maybe the fact that I couldn't decipher what he was trying to say is truly the sign that he is okay.
I think he's okay, man.
Because how often does Mike Eckler make sense?
After that fart the skillet comment, man, I'm completely lost. I'm completely lost.
Exactly. So I think I would be more concerned about Mike Eckler after he headbutted somebody on the team and made his forehead bleed. I would be more concerned about him if he did make sense on Twitter. I think it's a good sign that he does not make sense on Twitter.
He's okay. We need them to be okay because, man, what a big-time matchup for Tennessee. This is the game. Is this the game? Because next game. No, it's the game. This is the game. This can be the swing game for Tennessee. This is why you move the game up Thursday against Bowling Green to have an extra day to prepare for the Pitt Panthers. Man, let's get it. Noon game. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Got a lot of corrections to make. Had opportunities to hit some deep balls. Got to fix those. Got to fix some things in the secondary. But the play in the trenches was a pleasant surprise for this defensive line. And I talked to Caleb Tremblay yesterday on my VLT. He was part of our broadcast. And so got audio from our conversation we're going to play for you. And it's going to be about the defensive line this week for sure for Tennessee against Pittsburgh. We'll take our first break of the day. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, stay with us. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market. And from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Man, Facebook is good for something. I went over there to Facebook to holler at my man, Knoxville Mike. Asked him what happened to his team. Why they couldn't score more than 3 points. Man, Georgia's defense is real, though. But
technically, Georgia did not score more than 3 points.
Well, Clemson didn't score more than 3 points, excuse me. But I went over there to answer Knoxville Mike, and I saw that today is Robert Ayers' birthday. Vol legend, first-round pick of the Denver Broncos. It's his birthday today. Now he's the defense coordinator at Catholic High School. They're 1-0. Defense did a good job in their first – no, they're 2-0, I think.
Should be 3-0.
Are we already 3 weeks into – oh, we are. We are in week 3
I don't know if they won on Friday. I don't know if they won on Friday.
I saw people talking.
I know Josh Heupel left Carnes.
Let me see.
Josh Heupel showed up to Carnes to watch Deshaun Bishop go up against Walter Nolan.
Deshaun Bishop was the best player on the field from what I heard.
Yes, in my opinion. 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, a big kick return that set up a scoring drive. I have a comp, and we have this Caleb Tremblay audio here that we'll play for you in just a moment, so don't want to go too far down a rabbit hole.
3-0 Catholic.
But I have a comp, but I don't know if people are going to take well to it, but I mean well by it.
Go ahead, man.
Deshaun Bishop reminds me of Ty Chandler.
That's a good comp.
I mean, Ty Chandler did rush for over 2,000 yards at Tennessee.
Ty Chandler was a beast for North Carolina.
That's right. No, not 2,000. There's no way he ran for 2,000 yards.
In his career?
Mm-hmm. Maybe totaled it, or I don't know.
That's a good comp. Ty Chandler was a freaking, I think he was an All-American there coming out of high school.
He was high-level 4-star.
He was a high-level 4-star for sure.
I don't know. Just kind of, maybe it's the fact that Deshaun's wearing number 8, but I don't know. I just kind of think the mannerisms and the way Deshaun runs kind of reminds me of Ty.
That's a great, I mean.
Kind of, he's not like too short, but he's kind of, I mean, he's built well. I really like Deshaun Bishop. We had some questions on the GQ about, do you think he's the general's quarters over at VolQuest? Do you think he's a legitimate take? And I think that he is. I mean, I think the fact that Heupel stops by first thing Friday morning after a late night win over Bowling Green, I think is very telling.
2,000 yards at Tennessee.
Rushing?
2,500 all-purpose.
Gotcha.
But, yes, rushing 2,000 yards at Tennessee, and he had about 500 yards receiving, so 2,500 from scrimmage. And he was dang good against Virginia Tech in that loss. He was really good. He wears number 19. So, I mean, he was their best running back for sure.
Yeah, so I really like Deshaun Bishop. I think he is a stud, and I think Tennessee's in a real good spot there. He is a year behind, so he's a junior this year, so he still has another class to go. But Walter Nolan, Deshaun Bishop squaring off, and we spoke to both of them after the game, so there's plenty of content up on VolQuest if you want to check that out. But Heupel and Rodney Garner in attendance there at Carnes Pal, and then Heupel left at halftime and went over to Catholic to watch Trevor Duncan, a 2023 prospect, there along the D-line, O-line there for Catholic. So Josh Heupel making the rounds locally. I know it pleased many when I tweeted out a photo of Rodney Garner and Josh Heupel in attendance, because some did not feel like the Tennessee coaches were present locally enough. The last staff was not present in the local area enough. So many people were excited to see Heupel hanging out at Knoxville High Schools, because he visited West, he visited Catholic, and this was Friday morning.
Who's at West?
Nobody currently.
Okay.
But I think that's just somebody to stop by and check in on. There's Shannon Blair, who camped with Tennessee. He's committed to Michigan State. He suffered a season-ending injury in week 2, so thoughts and prayers to him. I just can't imagine losing your senior year to injury.
That stinks.
It does, because you can't redshirt in high school. But Shannon Blair's been somebody that they've been keeping an eye on, but I think it was more just a courtesy visit to say hello.
Gotcha.
West is a good football program.
Gotcha. So last night, the locker room on my VLT, we did our show and talking about the Tennessee Bowling Green game, college football as a whole, and the Tennessee Pitt matchup, and part of the NIL deal that we have so far there at the locker room. Last week we had on Valus Jones. This week, defensive lineman Caleb Tremblay, transfer from USC, was on with us, and I got a chance to record part of the segment where I take a player and we have our own 6 or 7 minute conversation. So here is our conversation last night on the locker room on my VLT. Hey, Caleb, man, good to have you on this evening.
Yeah,
everyone knows about Rodney Garner in the SEC. You know, a couple stops and multiple SEC stops, multiple SEC places. How has it been for you being able to be coached and mentored by Rodney Garner?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, like coming here, like I didn't really know what to expect. People are telling me like how he is, like how he coaches, but I think the biggest thing I learned is like how much he cares. Like he from the standpoint like of where he's coaching, he's just trying to get us better. And I heard him mention like the tough coaching. Yeah, like we're getting coached hard, but it's to do our job, and like he's trying to like get us better, and like understanding that as a player, like that's everything. Yeah.
Give us the difference between Pac-12 football and SEC football. I know that was a big reason for you to come out here just to play in the best conference in the land, but just give us kind of the differences between the two.
Yeah, I would say like when initially getting here, like the style of play is different. Like the Pac-12 is a finesse, like all pass rush kind of league. Like out here, like you really got to learn how to play the run, and that was like a big area of growth. I didn't even realize that I needed. Like people were a lot better technically at playing the run. And that would honestly be the biggest thing. Like, there's a lot more play action, like, from a football standpoint. Like, play action, like, learning how to play the run and all that. Like, that would be the biggest difference.
So, when you were in a group with other players playing your position, kind of like family.
Yeah.
Who are some of the guys in the room that maybe are the funniest, guys that you've really been able to connect with?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, everybody. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy everybody on the D-line. Honestly, like, you know how it is, like, the meeting room. You keep everything in the meeting room. But those are some of the best times, where you're correcting each other's film, you're kind of making fun of each other. Like, we all have a great time, like, hanging out with each other and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously playing on the defensive line, you want to get to the quarterback, you want to get sacks.
Yeah.
But what's some of the other things that Coach Gardner talks to you about? If you can't get to the quarterback and get those sacks, what else can you do?
Well, you guys actually mentioned it earlier, getting vertical. Like, that's one thing, like, I wasn't really self-conscious of, like, my footwork. Like, that is one thing I could do every play, whether I get to the quarterback, whether you get a TFL, like, where are you stepping, like, how is your first step, and, like, what's your footwork like? Like, you could make a play and have bad footwork. Like, that's one thing I'm learning, and, those are things to work on.
Have you got a chance to watch some of the Pitt film yet? What do you think about them?
I shortly watched, like, the end of the game yesterday. I saw they're blowing out UMass yesterday, but I heard they're experienced offensive line. They got a lot of seniors. I think they might have a super senior at quarterback. But I think it's going to be a good test for a defensive line, absolutely.
For sure. Caleb, the DBs, the defensive line, you guys kind of work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Are you guys in constant communication about, hey, get those mitts up, tip those balls up for us?
Yeah. I mean, we just – that's just like part of our drill work, getting our hands up. We do that pre-practice every day, working ball hands. I saw Big O. He got a crucial tip late in the game when it mattered, whether it was a turnover, like pass interference. I don't even remember what the rules are. But that's just drill work, to be honest, like getting your hand up late, like if you're not getting to the quarterback, just whatever you can to affect the quarterback.
I saw some guys on the ball wall that was really stylish, man.
Yeah.
Are you one of those guys that we can point to that was really stylish and give us kind of your take on the first ball walk for yourself.
First ball walk was cool.
Yeah.
I wore some cowboy boots.
There you go.
And I had a little black button down, but honestly, I need to step up my game. I need to go to the store and get some.
Did you have three buttons unbuttoned? You show the chest.
No, I didn't show the chest at all. No. I got some blue jeans. Cowboy boots. Should have got the cowboy hat maybe next time. Yeah.
Hey, you got perfect opportunity. It's gonna be a day game. It's gonna be electric. It's gonna be really, really electric. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Going back out there. Anything that you saw in the first game that you saw on film, you're like, hey, I want to make sure I want to get better at that so I can do it against Pittsburgh. What stood out to you from the first game?
For me,
just say you was awesome. It's okay.
Yeah, I felt like I left I think when I said earlier, the nerves of the first game are always there, and I feel like I'm gonna be way more settled in, just focused on doing my job, and you could always play harder. I'm always thinking of little things I could have done better, but.
That was Caleb Tremblay, Tennessee's defensive lineman, joining the locker room last night on my VLT. One thing that stood out to me, Ben, about that conversation is he's just blown away. He's blown away by SEC football, the interest in SEC football, the fans. I mean, he's not that active on Twitter. But he was like, man, I need to get a little bit more active on Twitter, man. I need to start connecting a little bit more with the fans because they are on it. And one of the biggest things that stood out was him talking about the difference in the crowds. He said that the Bowling Green game, which had 80-some thousand people, it was loud at some points. But come on, it was Bowling Green. It wasn't like it was Cal or Oklahoma or Florida or anything like that. But he said that game against Bowling Green, that crowd would be one of USC's best crowds in a rivalry game or a big game. So take UCLA and USC or USC Oregon, USC Stanford, something like that, night game, and that would be the Bowling Green game. It's just different. SEC football is just different, but man, he's super cool, super laid back. You don't expect anything different from a Cali boy, anyways. But Chase McGrath was there with him. His USC boys staying together, hanging out, and so he was offset, and got a chance to meet Chase McGrath and try to get an autograph for you, Ben. I know how much you love those kickers and punters, man. But he didn't have a pen on hand. So.
I'm very disappointed that you were not able to snag that for me because Tennessee is. #PU, #KickerU, #PunterU, #SpecialTeamsU.
Specialist U.
I like PU the best.
Yeah, I bet. 865-255-03. I ain't gonna lie, man. After watching college football as a whole, I felt better about Tennessee football. And listen, I didn't feel bad. I just wanted Tennessee to win 70-0. I wanted to beat Bowling Green down.
Well, I think the problem was that we knew how bad Bowling Green was, that because Tennessee only scored 38 points, it felt very underwhelming.
Yeah.
And it still was because there were opportunities left out on the field, and I think we all expected the passing aspect of the offense was going to click a little bit better, even for a first game, than it did. Joe Milton missing wide open receivers, receivers not running the correct route or not running the correct route well enough to throw off the timing of the throws. It was just the passing game as a whole was not very good, and I don't think that we expected that in this new offense with some of the pieces that Tennessee has. So that's why we walked away feeling kind of meh about the performance, but mainly because we thought Bowling Green was just going to be horrific. And honestly, Swain, they surprised me, and I'll be curious to look up in a month and a half, 2 months, and see what Bowling Green is doing, because I don't know that they're as bad as we thought that they were. Still not a great team, but I mean, you watch their quarterback who had a 44% completion percentage last year. He did not look like that guy whatsoever. And it's not like I didn't feel like Tennessee was shooting itself in the foot a ton. I mean, there were times where the wheel route coming out of the backfield was wide open, and the linebacker's eyes were in the wrong place and not picking up somebody out of the backfield.
Bad angles. Yep.
Yes, there were mistakes, absolutely. But I didn't feel like Tennessee was just self-inflicted wound after self-inflicted wound. I thought Bowling Green did some good things on offense. They were better than I expected, quite frankly. And I'll be curious to look up 2 months from now and kind of see how their season is going, because I think it's going to go better than we anticipated. Will they win the MAC? No. But I think they're going to be more competitive than I thought that they would.
Yeah.
But you look at some of these other scores. We mentioned the ones around the SEC. You see Washington lose to, I don't even remember who they lost to. Somebody they weren't supposed to.
Man, everybody was losing to people they weren't supposed to, or finding themselves in dogfights. Montana.
Yes.
Montana Grizzlies beat the 20th ranked Washington Huskies at home.
You know the primetime game this week?
It should be Tennessee-Pittsburgh, but
it's Washington at Michigan.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
the Kirk Herbstreit game. Now, granted, there aren't a ton of good games this week. It's week 2. Everybody's playing their cupcake games.
Oregon, Ohio State.
That's the noon game.
That's
the noon game on Fox.
That should be prime time. Or,
by the way, that Wisconsin-Penn State game was tremendous.
Yeah, that was good. But come on, man, we got the Johnny Majors Classic.
That's right.
This weekend, like, it should be prime time. It should be a moment to highlight how great of a coach Johnny Majors was and what he did at Iowa State in his first gig as a head coach, what he did at Pittsburgh, and then what he did at Tennessee. It would have been a perfect time to highlight his accomplishments, his legacy, his greatness, and I hope they find some time to do it, even though they're not going to, be here. And I understand, Tennessee hasn't won a lot, so I get that. But like the opportunity to highlight Johnny Majors and his legacy and how great he was as a coach, this will be a perfect opportunity to do that. Iowa and Iowa State play this weekend.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah, that's a rivalry game.
Iowa killed Indiana.
Yeah, they did. That's a top 25 matchup between those two teams. Texas and Arkansas play.
Texas looked good, man.
Yeah.
I was with Billy Napier and kind of what he's got going on there at Louisiana. I thought Louisiana may upset Texas, and Texas, I mean, there were plenty of tweets about it. When was the last time we had a drama-free Texas football game?
Man, it's been a while, man. Steve Sarkisian may have things in the right direction. He may get it rolling there. Stanford, USC play. Utah, BYU, they play this week. That's always an early season rivalry game. But yeah, there's some good games this weekend, but not like it was last weekend. And I think Tennessee should be playing at night. But it is what it is.
Is Tennessee on ESPN?
I think we're on Jefferson Pilot.
College football is going to have the game of the century later on this year, right?
What, Tennessee, Vanderbilt?
Vanderbilt is involved in the football game. On October 2nd, Vanderbilt plays Connecticut.
Oh, my gosh.
Who Connecticut lost to Holy Cross over the weekend. And it was Holy Cross's first ever win over an FBS team since 2002. So bad that Randy Edsall announced that he was retiring at the end of the season yesterday. So on October 2nd, I don't know where the game's played, but Vanderbilt plays Connecticut. That literally might be the worst college football game of all time. Vanderbilt, who lost to ETSU, going up against Connecticut, who lost to Holy Cross.
Vanny plays Colorado State this week and may lose that game too.
Oh, Vanderbilt is probably going 1-11 or 0-12. They're losing to Colorado State, although I believe I saw Colorado State got drugged. They're going to lose to Stanford, which Stanford did not look good either. That's another team that disappointed. And I love David Shaw, but the last 2 or 3 years, Stanford has taken a step back. And then they play Connecticut. And they might beat Connecticut.
They played Georgia before they played Connecticut.
Oh, yeah. Vanderbilt.
They played Connecticut at home.
Might go 0-12.
They might. Yeah, Vanderbilt may go 0-12. I'm looking at the schedule right now. They may go 0-12.
Ugh.
They may go 0-12. Like, for real, for real.
As long as that 0-12 includes a loss to Tennessee, we're good.
Well, we play them, so it will.
I got a text from a friend of the show yesterday morning, and he said, "Bro, WTF happened to Vandy last night?"
Hey, man, don't worry about Vandy. You evolved now. Tennessee gives you more love than your own school. I know you're talking about, Ben.
On that note, we're going to Don.
Let's get to Don. Don, I'm going to get you trouble, Ben. Don, good morning.
Morning, guys.
What's up, Don?
Happy Labor Day. To be honest with you, I was lazy this morning, and I didn't much think you guys would be live today, so I didn't turn it on.
Come on, man.
No days off during football season.
Yeah, no days off. We like Bill Belichick, man. I was up till like 2 a.m. smoking a butt.
You're up till 2 smoking?
Yeah, man. So 2 butts. I'm finishing them off right now in the oven.
Interesting.
Ben,
Yep.
I'm gonna send Ben home with some if he cool with his little smart
I
ass.
was you got directions to your house.
I do. Go down I-40, turn straight.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. No, I've watched a lot of football this weekend, and though I was a little underwhelmed by our performance the other night, when I saw some of the messes I saw over the weekend, I thought, well, maybe we ain't as bad as we thought. I guess the biggest thing in talking about our quarterback performance the other night, I'm watching that Florida State Notre Dame game last night, and they bring a quarterback in that haven't played since 2018. He's playing with one leg. And when I watched him, I thought, man, I wish our quarterback could play like that.
Golly, man. I mean, it was
I'm not hearing anything.
It was 2 drives. He did a good job, but like, hey, man, we won't give up a opportunity to ish on our own, man. Golly, I mean, he did a good job. Like, he did a good job. He made. The running game was on point for Mackenzie Milton, so he didn't really have to throw the ball that much. But when he did, he was accurate. He did a really good job. Did a great job, the low snap, getting the ball out and throwing it out of bounds. But, man, like, every chance people get, man, crap on our own. I just don't understand. It was one game. It wasn't great. Some good things here, some bad things here. But, my goodness, man, I said it last week. This is why when Casey Clausen comes back, it's like people feel like it's a miracle, because it's annoying. Like, it's sad. Like, it's just one game. He's our own player. I don't understand fan bases, man. I don't understand how fan bases do their own players like that. I don't get it. But then you over here crossing your fingers, lighting incense, hoping that the players come to your school on National Signing Day. But they get here, and the first chance fans get, you want to trash them. You trash your own players. I don't get it, man. Quite frankly, I'm tired of seeing it. I don't care if you like what I'm saying or not. I don't care. I'm tired of seeing it. So annoying. 865-255-03. We'll get back to the phones after this.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Around the SEC this morning, Swain event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. All right, Ben, what do we have for around the SEC today?
Literally want to go around the SEC and talk about the scores that took place on Saturday. Real quick before we get to Coy and Macon. Alabama took care of business against Miami, 44-13. Just an absolute bloodbath.
Did they practice? Did Miami practice over the all season?
I don't know.
Oh, they're getting them NIL deals, though.
Not anymore. Georgia took care of Clemson 10-3. Texas A&M went on to beat Kent State 41-10 after leading 10-3 at halftime. Florida beat FAU 35-14. UCLA beat LSU 38-27 in a very impressive showing for Chip Kelly. Looks like he has UCLA truly, finally headed in the right direction. This isn't going to be received well, but the third most impressive team around the SEC over the weekend was Kentucky, in my opinion. They beat UL Monroe 45-10. I get the level of competition wasn't great. We'll truly see the true colors against Missouri this weekend in what should be a really good football game. But Will Levis looked really good throwing the football. And if that is genuine and translates to some of these bigger games, then Kentucky is going to be a problem for folks. Don't think they're going to go win the SEC. Don't take it that far.
That's what they've been missing, though.
But that's what that offense has been missing. And Wan'Dale Robinson had quite the showing. I bet Scott Frost was drowning in his tears. So I thought Kentucky looked really good against Louisiana Monroe 45-10. Arkansas struggled with Rice, but came out to win 38-17. Mississippi State stormed back from 17 points down to beat Louisiana Tech 35-34. Missouri beat Central Michigan 34-24, despite Jim McElwain not coaching because of COVID. Auburn took Akron to town, won 60-10. South Carolina beat Eastern Illinois 46-0. And the performance of the week goes to the ETSU Bucks for knocking off Vanderbilt 23-3. And then we have one more SEC game this week, Louisville at Ole Miss, or against Ole Miss, I should say, because it is in Atlanta, the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. 8 p.m. ESPN. Ole Miss is 9.5-point favorites. Lane Kiffin will not be coaching because he has COVID, which I wonder who gave him COVID. But that's a different conversation. Louisville at Ole Miss in Atlanta tonight.
Let's get to the phones. And
we got Coy and Macon.
Coy and Macon. Good morning, Coy.
Hey, good morning, guys. Y'all doing all right today?
Man, we are wonderful, man. Blessed.
Laboring on Labor Day.
I heard that, man. I'm headed to the Waffle House and then to the golf course. It'll be a good day.
Look, you didn't have to mention all that, all right?
Oh, man. So I did not catch any of the Pitt game this week. Just wanted to see if you guys could give us some maybe some things to think about go through the week. What are some of the key matchups we'll be facing that we'll need to win? Some of their best players and what that's going to look like on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I watched the first quarter of Pitt and UMass, and almost fell asleep, to be honest, watching that game. But they have a quarterback that I think will play at the next level. He has a lot of experience. He can run a little bit. He's tough. He throws it pretty well. He can beat you. He can beat you. And Kenny Pickett, number 8, he wears gloves like Teddy Bridgewater, and wears gloves on his throwing hand, on his off hand. But he's tough. He's a senior. Like I said, he's experienced. He's a guy that makes everything go. So better make sure that you stay in your containment lanes, something that Rodney Garner has done a really good job with this defensive line, really focusing on those guys getting vertical. But when you get vertical, you stay in your lanes because he's a guy that if he gets outside the pocket, he can pick up the first down and beat you with his legs. So I need to watch more, Coy, to be honest. I saw the first quarter. Pitt fumbled. He had running backs that fumbled after catching the ball. It was a little sloppy at first, but then Pitt started to take care of business, which is why they won 51-7. But I just watched the first quarter so far.
He's their best player.
How big up front are they?
How big or how good?
Both. How big is what I said? How big up front? Offensive, defensive line.
Their offensive line is experienced. You heard Caleb Tremblay say that during the interview we played earlier that Swain did on the locker room last night. But if you look at kind of the advanced stats, they're not that great. Finished 11th in the ACC last year in run blocking. They did most of their damage in between the tackles, according to the Pro Football Focus data, and just kind of struggled on the outside of 1,500 rushing yards last season. Only 400 came outside of the tackles, and they don't really have a great crop of running backs. They have Vincent Davis, 5'8", 170. He was the lone bright spot for Pitt last year. Rushed for 632 yards, and no other Pitt back rushed for over 300. So they have experience, but, I mean, it's kind of like LSU. Everybody was touting LSU's offensive line returning. Well, that wasn't a great LSU offensive line last year. So is it really a good thing that the entire O-line is returning? That's kind of what it feels like with Pitt to me, is that, yeah, they have guys coming back, but they weren't very good last year. And defensively, they have a really good defensive tackle, Kalijah Cansey, one of the better interior defensive linemen in the entire country last year.
Gotcha. Well, looking forward to the game, man. I think it should be a good one and more of a true test to see what we have. I'm excited to see the improvement from week 1 to week 2. I got an early for you. You guys may be going this way anyway. I didn't think it was that bad, but man, was Brian Kelly last night saying that his whole team might need to be executed. I think the media is going to jump on that pretty hard.
Oh man, it's already happened, man, and he's already had to come out and clarify what he said. He made those comments on the field after the game, and then during his press conference, he tried to clarify it. So, yeah, man, not Brian Kelly's best interview there.
Well, look, guys, y'all have a good week, man. I'm going to listen to the rest of the show. Y'all have a great Labor Day, and enjoy your barbecue you got today, Swain.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Just remember, Coy, you may be golfing while I'm laboring today, but on Friday, while you're working, while you're laboring, I'll be golfing. So
there it is.
We'll swap places on Friday.
There it is. I don't want to hear anything about my friendship.
You come be my caddy?
Nah, man. I might be carrying your golf clubs.
Look, no, you don't have to literally carry because we got a cart. You can come drive the cart. You can drive me around, and you can sip on your adult beverage.
I can do that at the crib, and I can text you and tell you it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. I can send you like a little voice memo. It's all in the hips. I'm good, man. I'm booked. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, shocker.
I gotta watch, some Loudon football film. Got to call that game this Thursday.
Okay, but I'm asking you to go Friday.
I'm booked. I gotta get ready for the pregame show. It's an early game.
It is going to be an early pregame show. What game do you have for Rivalry Thursday this week?
Loudon. I'm going to Loudon. That's what I know right now. I'm going to Loudon, man. So Loudon and whoever Loudon's playing, I'll be starting that prep today, man.
Sounds like you need to get on it.
Let's see here. I got it right here. Gatlinburg-Pittman at Loudon. So that's the game I have this Thursday. So I'll be watching some Gatlinburg-Pittman. I'll be watching some Loudon between now and Thursday and getting ready for that game, man.
Whole lot of Pitt in your week this week. Gatlinburg-Pittman and Pittsburgh Panthers.
I guess so. I'm cool with those two. I ain't trying to watch any Steelers, though. 865-255-03. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382